Welcome back to the forum where we discuss social and cultural issues using facts, history, logic from a Christian perspective. My name is Monet, and with me tonight I have
Sino Figueroa.
And a return guest, Josh Ince, who's a facilitator for the Complete Health Improvement Project. And we also have a new guest, Laverne Reed, who is a director of The Plated Plant, which is
a nutritional counseling company.
A nutritional counseling company. Thank you so much, and thank you for joining us again. This is episode 3, season 2 of our New Year, New Me. We've been talking about healthy habits versus resolutions. We've discussed exercise, we've discussed goal setting, and now we're going to get a little bit into diet for the new year.
Great. If you are watching us right now, well, thank you for watching us. We are live on Facebook, and also we are on YouTube. Please share and comment if you like. We do this program for you, with you in mind, so we appreciate your comments. We appreciate you sharing this video. Starting a watch party works great. That way you expose us to your circle of influence. And if you have a question, please let us know, or if you have suggestions for future topics, we will take that into consideration.
Very good. You know, when I was doing a little bit of research for the topic tonight, I came across this story of this mom who, you know, has several kids at home, works like 18-hour days, which I can totally relate to. Okay. Different episode. But anyways, she works a lot, has a lot of kids at home, and she does this thing called extreme couponing, to the point where she would have like a cart full of groceries, like maybe $400 or something, and get that sucker down all the way to like $40. Have you guys heard of this phenomenon? Wow. Extreme couponing. I have a friend online who did. Shout out to Melissa. Like, I have a friend who is into that like a lot. Have you guys?
I've seen them in the lines with the boxes and the coupons, and usually try and get out of that line.
Oh.
Yes.
Right?
I never witnessed it because when I see that little bag with a lot of coupons, I just change line.
Oh, my.
Oh, no, it's happening.
You never asked them for some I would be like, hey, you got me extra? You want to share with me?
My wife tried for a little bit.
Okay, how'd she do?
Say that. Well, you need a lot of time, lots of time. And she gets into a group, you know, people on Facebook, or there's social groups, so and they give a shout out when they have these discounts, and you have to grab the, you know, the pamphlet of the include some coupons. So I think it was counterproductive, in my opinion.
For your life. I mean, obviously it's working for someone.
For some.
Like, when you're in the behind line, like, what kind of things are they couponing? Like, since we're talking about diet, like, what kind of foods do they have in their cart?
Stuff in boxes.
Okay.
You know, I don't think they have too many coupons for fruits, vegetables, things like that. It's usually boxes.
So we're not pulling coupons for Fuji apples.
I don't think so.
Sorry, not Fuji Gala apples.
No, Fuji are better. But anyway, go ahead.
Or different discussion, but so no, no, we'll fight over that.
Okay, we can.
Okay. So, well, that kind of ties into our question for tonight, which is it possible to fit a healthy diet into a busy life?
Absolutely.
That's a good point. Yeah.
You want to come at that a little?
Well, please excuse my voice tonight, but I'm a single mom. I work over 40 hours a week, and I try my best to give my kids a cooked meal every night. So not fast food, you know, not Taco Bell, even if it's tacos at home.
Right.
We're trying to put fruits and vegetables on every single plate.
Right.
Well, no. I mean, that's great, but I don't know. Coming back to our question, I think it's a challenge. It's a challenge. I've seen people, you know, running. Sometimes you eat what you can, when you can, how you can. You know, if you have a busy schedule and you like more time into your day, and doing that, it takes a lot of preparation, a lot of organization.
Well, okay, so let's go back a little bit, because we've had a couple discussions about habit building, about how to remember the quadrant of where most of your life should be. It should be in the important, not urgent.
The Eisenhower
the planning,
matrix.
Right, deciding. So let's break it down into maybe a couple definitions here, because when we talk about fitting a healthy diet into a busy life, I don't think anybody would argue that a lot of us are very busy. But what constitutes a healthy diet that we should be, like what kind of goal are we aiming for when we talk about a healthy diet?
Yeah, you want to give yourself what your body actually needs.
Okay,
you need
describe
those
that.
macronutrients, your proteins, your fats, your carbohydrates.
That's like your large groups?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then you have your smaller things like your vitamins and minerals that your body needs in a smaller amount.
Micronutrients.
Exactly.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So you're trying to fit your macros and your micros, which
Correct.
are your big food groups,
Yeah.
and then your nutritional content,
Yeah.
all into the same. Now, is that every meal every day?
A balance of it, right? Throughout the day, right? So your body needs these things throughout the day. And if you think about it in a simpler sense, macro means big, you need more of. Micro means smaller, you need
Okay.
less of. Right?
Okay,
It's
okay.
just like that. Yeah.
You were gonna. Well, I was gonna say something. I know that my dad's Jamaican, so he's filled with all these like little dadisms that he likes to
Yeah.
say. And one of his favorite dadisms is "variety is the spice of life," right? Which usually meant that we had to switch something up that we didn't want to do. But it's a really good rule of life because variety is the spice of life. And I kind of hear you saying
That's
that
why
if we-
M&M's comes in different colors.
Bro, like what are we talking about right now?
But you can eat the rainbow. You
Come
can eat
on
the
now.
rainbow with
Okay,
your fruit.
okay, okay,
That's
rainbow.
a taking slogan.
Yeah.
Apples, oranges,
Yeah.
bananas, red, orange, yellow,
She said-
green.
she
Yeah.
said-
You
she
know,
said eat the rainbow.
kale, blueberries.
Right.
Eat a variety because then you're going to get all the minerals.
That's right.
All the different vitamins that you need. You get a little bit here and there.
Yeah.
And you're eating a lot of different things.
So I don't have to do my 3 blocks of tofu for breakfast, lunch, and dinner in order to be healthy. I'm serious
that would
because
be unhealthy.
sometimes when people think healthy eating,
Yeah.
they're envisioning just this tasteless, uninteresting food that you have to
Yeah.
force down your gullet 3 times a day.
Yeah, and it's not that, right?
Okay.
It's just like Laverne was saying. The beautiful part is there's such a variety of these different large and even the smaller vitamins and minerals play into some of the larger food groups and the carbohydrates. But the point is that there are options. And,
Okay.
and excellent and fun options, right? You can put things together and enjoy them in all different kind of ways.
How healthy you need to be? Is there different kinds of healthy? Is there different levels of healthy? What about organic versus inorganic?
That's a good
Non-organic
point.
foods.
Right.
Do you need to eat all organic in order to be pure and to be healthy, or not?
Well, I mean, it can be preferable. Sometimes it's a little pricey, right? So what happens is that, with non-organic food, it means has pesticides and other things that are, put onto the actual food.
The
or
conventional
even,
items,
yeah,
right.
or even sometimes actually in the seed
Right,
manufactured
right, right,
itself.
right.
Right? So what you're getting is a manufactured piece of fruit or vegetable. It's not drawing from the natural nutrients maybe that are in the ground. It's not naturally produced. It's generated. It's
But isn't
manufactured.
that, I guess, preferable to something out of a box? Is it preferable to something out of a box?
What
Does
you're
it
saying?
depend?
It does
The
depend.
conventional
Conventional food.
produce.
Well, one of the things here's the thing, right? So even with conventional produce, there are going to still obviously be elements of some of the nutritional aspects of the food itself,
Okay,
right?
okay.
So if I take a non-organic apple, it's still going to have fiber.
Right. True.
It's not
True.
like the fiber's gone, right?
Right, which
But-
you're not going to get in a lot of processed foods.
Exactly. So the thing about it is you just weigh one versus the other. It's important to know what you're getting out of what you're eating, right? If you see a box, you need to know what's in it. If you
Right,
pick up an
right.
apple, you need to know what it is.
So more
Right.
like, I guess when we think about healthy eating, we can think more continuum as opposed to I'm in or I'm out. Like you
Yeah.
can think more along a
Yeah.
line towards an ideal kind of.
Exactly.
And if you're thinking about organic versus conventional,
Yeah.
then there's the, what is it? The
Dirty dozen, and then
Yeah,
the
that's a
clean
good thing.
15. Because there's definitely, like, for example, I know for a fact, avocados.
Say it.
You don't even waste your money on organic avocados. Honestly, like you might as well. The pesticides don't really.
It's those thick-skinned.
The
Thick skin, mhm.
Yeah.
Especially
That's
if you're
the
not going to eat the skin, you can usually say not buy organic. Of course, if you want to, it's better per se, but
yeah, but that's an
you
important
might be
point, right? For
wasting
those
a couple
people that
cents.
want to have, maybe they can't do everything organic, right?
Right, but they
Financially-
like to do some things.
Exactly. So that's a very important point.
You know, interesting point. I saw this article by the Harvard School of Public Health, and I think it's from a few years back, like 2013. But they crunched the numbers, which thank God for Harvard. They crunched the numbers, and they figured out that literally between the healthiest of diets and the most unhealthy of diets, do you know what the difference is to have a healthy diet versus an unhealthy diet? $1.50 a day.
Wow. See, there you go.
When I saw that, I was astounded because, people laugh at me for some of the things that I buy, but $1.50 a day is the difference between an unhealthy diet and a healthy diet, and that's $1.50 every day. So that adds up to like $550 a year average.
Wow.
So I guess when people think about unhealthy versus healthy, we're thinking sometimes that it's just this unattainable pie in the sky ideal, when really it might just be a couple decisions a day or a week when we go to the store that might make the difference between a healthy versus an unhealthy diet.
Right.
Well, I know there's a bunch of studies and all that, but in the practical sense, people find it difficult. It's incredible that you can, feed a whole family from the dollar menu.
True.
That's
true.
And in order to find nice, clean food, you have to go to these specialized stores, sometimes are fat stores and stuff like that, and then spend a small fortune.
Yeah.
In that. So it's not only it's also education, right?
Yeah.
So you
That's
have
a
to
good
know
point.
what to buy, where to buy it, and how to buy it, how to prepare it as well.
Right.
Yeah. Key point.
If my voice is gone, if we're talking about eating the rainbow, and we're talking about getting what's from the earth, rice, beans, 99 cents a pound,
Right.
rice, 50
Right.
cents a pound.
Right.
You can feed a family of four for $1.50 off of a bag of rice and beans, and then a head of broccoli. So now you have your
And that's the
carbs.
balance,
Right.
that you were talking about earlier, right? The thing about it is people think that, okay, well, I have to go get $73 apples to eat healthy.
Because they do have them.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And it's just like Laverne is saying, you have the rice, your beans, you can have those in mass. They're great for the fibers and the other things that you need. And it's a balance, right?
Well, let me put this to you then, because we live in a culture that is constantly bombarding us with messages that go against health, I would say. And there are messages of health here and there, but by and large, the total picture that most of us get is one of fast food, the pizza commercials when you're sitting down with your family in the evenings, the Taste the Rainbow, sorry Skittles, but the candy commercials for the kids in the middle of the cartoons, just all these things constantly 24/7. Our society is kind of I would say funneling us towards, like infrastructure-wise, towards the things that these companies are paying money to build and create and put in boxes and cartons and things like that. They want us to buy them, and marketing works.
Yeah, it does. They know where we spend our time. We're visual people, right? So,
Food is not only taken for our nutrition. Yeah, that's it. But also it's a very there's a high social component in food.
Yeah.
We socialize through food.
That's
Yeah.
right.
So
we talked about that before, right?
Yeah.
So when
we
we start, like getting healthier and eating healthier, we also like changing our habits, in the way that we interact with people around food. So we have Hispanic, we celebrate a lot of things, and mostly with food, a lot of cultures.
Yeah.
So there's nothing healthy, in
Hey,
our...
time out. I've seen healthy tacos. And Cinco de Mayo this year is on Taco Tuesday. Mistake? I think not.
Well, okay, but no, that's not a traditional thing. That's not the traditional
Bro,
recipe.
do not come on.
I'm talking about traditional recipe. The greasier, the better.
Oh,
Okay,
wow.
I feel what you're saying. I get what you're saying. Okay.
So I'm gonna be cutting ties with friends and family over this.
You can find what you want to eat when you're there. So tacos.
Sometimes
Only the
you
cilantro
can't.
and the cebolla,
Sometimes
only
you
the
can't.
cilantro and the
I know,
onion
right?
on the top.
That barbacoa be
need all-
swimming just.
Okay, you can have frijoles. You can put papas in your enchiladas. You can put all of that. You can.
Yeah, you have to.
Somebody help me out here.
Well, yeah.
Help you out, but- okay, so for instance, one of the tips that I saw was, do I have to? I read a whole article on. Do I have to give up comfort food if I want to do healthy eating? The general answer is no. And there's several things you can do. You can limit your consumption of that comfort food. So whereas you were eating it maybe every day, every week, you can cut it back to maybe every few days or every month, say, oh, this is a special time where I'm going to do that comfort food. Or you can substitute some of those high calorie, high fat, high sugar ingredients for things that are a little bit more healthy. So, you have, I'm going to offend a lot of people, but the macaroni and cheese, you can sometimes add some veggies to that.
Sacrilege.
And but I know, right? Sorry, people everywhere. But you can sometimes add some veggies to that, add a little pop of color, some fiber with the leafy greens, and keep the same portion size, right? You're not going to go double because you put some kale in it, but you're going to keep the same portion size,
That's important, the portion. For 3 months, I went vegetarian, most part, and I was eating, I think, healthy. I was eating way healthier than I used to, but I was a vegetarian glutton. Because I felt that I needed to eat way more in order to
make up for the lack of meat.
Yes, and I'm not saying that I was counting protein or stuff like that. Just I wanted to feel full.
Right. Yes. You know what? To be honest, that is a struggle for a lot of people, because when you grow up with a certain paradigm, and imagining what your plate is supposed to look like, because food is very mental sometimes, what you put in your body, and sometimes it takes a huge mental effort to let yourself know that you are getting what you need. And these cooking shows, these food ads, all this Food Network, I will sit down and watch.
I want to talk to you about a consequence of that.
Sometimes it helps and sometimes it doesn't.
Right.
It's a toss-up sometimes.
Yeah, you still have to use your brain when you watch it.
A consequence of that you mentioned.
Yeah.
Have you heard about the word, let me see if I pronounce it
Do
right.
it.
Orthorexia.
Do it again.
Orthorexia.
Orthorexia,
Wow.
not
Orthorexia.
anorexia.
No.
bulimia.
Orthorexia.
Orthorexia. Okay,
Wow.
and that's the
Break that
healthy eating disorder. Okay,
A healthy.
yeah.
Stop.
When people get so intense into this healthy way of lifestyle, healthy
You mean like
eating,
militant vegans?
Probably.
No, I'm
Holding
asking.
up signs and marching in front
Yeah.
in
Pimp
the
slap the
grocery
meat
store.
out of your hand?
Not in that sense, but into the personal field. They get so. I'm gonna read to you a little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit of. There's this girl that she suffered for that problem, and it's being recognized as a mental disorder. And this girl says, I still don't know for certain if I got sick after eating unhealthy foods was because my body had become adjusted to a raw diet, or because mentally I got so distressed over eat, knowing my body wasn't going to process it. I thought I was eating poison, essentially, because it wasn't organic or it wasn't raw.
Wow.
So she was so stressed, mentally stressed about not eating healthy food, that she was getting sick for that.
Interesting.
So listen. It says that if a behavior is so disrupted that interferes with work and personal relationships, it could be a sign of a psychological disorder.
Wow.
Says a clinical psychologist, Sari Pagodo. Okay, social life is a huge factor in health because it's a buffer for stress.
Wow. That's interesting.
And we see a lot of people falling into this, into a certain matter. Okay, there's more extremes, but a little bit. I mean, a lot of people that we know. I'm pretty sure that we know somebody that had a little bit of this.
Right. Something helpful that we mentioned last time about habit building was that it's helpful to tie new habits to old routines so that you can kind of integrate them into your regular life. And so maybe sometimes when we're going to the extreme with things that maybe might be a fad, or it might be a very good thing, but we take it to a level where it's unhealthy. Maybe we're not looking at our life in total, but instead picking out a part and magnifying it. Maybe that's where the challenge comes from, the distress as far as it alienating you completely. Instead of me saying, let me bring a new dish to the family function that maybe you guys haven't tried before, you're like, no, that's bad, that's, knocking stuff over. Maybe that's not healthy.
That's true.
Yeah.
Not healthy as a person.
Yeah, I think one of the things too that's interesting is that food is it's not a choice. You have to do it, right?
Right.
So sometimes people can get anxiety over a meal or a setting where they're thinking that they're going to have to, oh, what am I going to do here or there? And it's like Laverne had said earlier on, if you know something's coming, you plan for it.
Right.
Right. If you make a decision that you want to do something better, there's actions you have to take to support that decision.
Right.
And you have to get comfortable with it. You make small changes, and then you make more changes.
Gradual.
As you get used to it, like you said, building that new habit. You're not going to get up the next day and just boom, everything is going to be just like that. You pick certain small goals.
Right.
You edge your way to it. You learn from mistakes. So you have to allow yourself the opportunity to be able to learn in a peaceful way.
Right.
A lot of times people jump in and they're, I will just read everything and I want to do it, and they want to do it tomorrow.
Right.
That's not healthy. Right?
You're right, and it kind of it builds that defense against a lot of the barriers that sometimes come up when you try to incorporate a new habit, like healthy eating.
Yeah.
We did this poll. You're going to talk about it?
No, go talk about it.
Yeah, we
and
did
after
this poll.
I will mention the people that is following us and watching us.
Yeah. So we did this poll on Facebook, and the question was, what would you say are the top reasons why people don't eat healthfully? And number one was, I am too busy, which is what we're talking about today. You might feel that you're too busy to, eat healthfully, but we've kind of brought up a couple points. You can work it in small portions. You can do it, little by little. I would say sometimes we're too busy to be sick. So it's like, where are you going to spend? Stop it! You're giving me the face. But it's like, where are you going to spend your time? You want to spend your time, spending $1.50 each day. You want to spend your time doing 50 minutes of prep, or do you want to spend your time, seeing the doctor and spending, paying a copay? It's you're going to spend the time somewhere. That's the only thing I would say about that. Other people have said it's too much work. It costs too much. They'll have to cut back on the things that you like, which there are ways and there's ways. You can still enjoy food. You just might have to learn to do it in a little bit different way that's going to benefit you.
Right.
Some people thought they were healthy,
also,
and they're like, what, I'm not?
Also, the taste buds, they change.
Sometimes
They
it
change.
has to take a shift.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
I mean, over time, you start discovering new flavors, start adapting to new diet as well. Maybe something that you right now feel too bland because right now you're getting bombarded with salt, sugar, and a lot of things.
Yes.
Through time, give it time.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And, there's just different reasons. Some people don't know what to do, where to go, how to even find information on recipes and things like that. And sometimes when you're overwhelmed with just this insurmountable thing, you kind of just, but this pizza, though.
Feel like it'll break you down.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some of the bad foods are the easiest to get, right? You can hit a drive-through like that, just right on your way to work, no problem. And you have to remember it's a business too, right? So if you have a business and you're selling, I don't want to say it in a bad way, but food that's manufactured, right, for maybe a cheaper discount, and you're trying to get profit, you have to make it easy for people to get to it. You may have to make it cheap and accessible, right? Or else you're not going to be profitable. So we have to also understand that food is a business. People have chosen to make a business out of food and the manufacturing and the selling of it. And if they want to be successful, they need to make it accessible. They need to be able to market at times when they know that people will be watching them so that their business is profitable. It's important to understand that, I think, part about it as well.
And I think excuse me.
That's okay. We know your voice is not quite there today. That's all right.
Just get it closer.
What we have
We'll be
to
a
do
Laverne
as
interpreter.
consumers is educate ourselves.
Exactly.
So we have to know what our bodies need to function at the highest capacity.
Right. Yeah.
That's
Let me just
okay.
give a shout out to the people that is with us on Facebook Live. We have Cicera Maria Gomez and Janine Samano.
Hello.
We had Daisy Figueroa. She sounds familiar. Apprentice White is with us also, watching us. Nailing, Reasonable Lamban, Javier Betancourt, Leakim Caetano,
Hey.
Michelle, she's also with us on the
Michelle.
distance. Carby G, Daniela Villarreal, Selma, Avila. We have a lot of friends watching and sharing what they're seeing right now. It's a popular topic.
Wow.
Thanks,
awesome.
guys, for tuning in. If you have any experiences, any comments, any questions, please post them, and we'll try to get to them while we're discussing. Sometimes we just go to the extremes with the diet thing. You mentioned the orthorexia.
Orthorexia.
Really interesting,
Orthorexia.
yeah.
I remember once upon a time, raw diet. You know, it's good for what it is.
Right.
I didn't do it right at first. I thought I knew what to do. But I learned, as I did it, I learned several things. Number one, salt was not my enemy. Salt was my friend, but within reason. I also learned my macronutrients.
Right.
I learned where I could get, so there's a learning curve that sometimes comes with trying a new thing, with trying to adjust your diet, your particular taste. Like, I love beans. Everybody doesn't do beans. Some
Yeah.
people can't even physically tolerate beans.
Right.
But there's so much other protein out there.
Yeah.
There's certain foods I hate, loathe, like
Like
They-
Michelle was saying in the last program, you have to find what works
what
for you.
works for you.
It's great that there's
Absolutely.
options, aren't there?
Yeah,
Yeah,
so many.
yeah.
You were talking earlier
Yeah.
about just different dietary options.
Yeah.
Like, I know you personally,
Yeah.
tell us about that, because you went through a learning curve when you had to change up.
Wow. Yeah. So I did raw vegan for a little while. I think what was good about these things is I did a lot of reading, right? And the
Education, like Senor was saying.
so important, to be able to educate yourself on what your body actually needs to function. I think that is a really, really good course of study versus, hey, this diet or hey, that diet. Find out the core, like we just talked about, core macronutrients, and in what quantities. Then you can just go through the rainbow, as
Right.
Laverne was saying, and just apply it from there. But it took time because
Right.
I read different things that that sounds good. This guy looks healthy. He's on the front of a book. Let me see what he's got to say. You can hurt yourself.
Right.
You can hurt yourself. So, for me personally, I did a lot of praying, what I
Right.
mean, and tried to seek out the best sources that I could.
That's a good thing. I mean, honestly, I would think a lot of people might want to know why should I even make the effort to change what I'm doing right now? It's working for me now. My life is filled with these other things. I saw this I can't even get the word. It's the stat. I saw the
Stats,
stat. Bureau of Labor Statistics, right? Like, we don't even spend that much time eating every day anyways.
Yeah.
So how much, why does it even matter that I should spend time to upgrade anything in this?
Somebody may think, what I'm eating right now makes me happy.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And that's important to my mental health.
Yeah. So what are the motivations to do this? What for?
I know, well, you go ahead.
No, well, I mean, the thing about it is I think one of the motivations it's interesting that you said, let me start with one thing. You said, I'm eating it, it makes me happy. And there is a lot of enjoyment in food.
And I like to treat myself.
Yeah. There's a lot of enjoyment in it.
Endorphins and the hormones get released. and all that, that's,
But then there's also an effect, right? Sometimes you may feel sluggish. Sometimes maybe, I enjoy eating this food.
Immune system.
Yeah, I'm getting sick all the time.
Right,
you know what I mean?
right.
Or maybe I feel overweight, or my doctor tells me that, I need to cut back on this or that. It will eventually come back down to health.
And I would
Yeah.
say, when Michelle was here last week, we were talking about exercise.
Yeah.
And we asked the question then, too, why exercise? Why incorporate this into my life? And I think the answer is kind of the same in both instances. When you think
Yeah.
about exercise, being active, when you think about healthy eating, diet, quality of life.
Quality
You know,
of
you
life.
have the quantity of life, right? People want to live longer, but you also have the quality. It does no good living to 60, 70, 80 if you're broken down,
Yeah.
and you doing this throughout the whole day.
Yeah.
That's not usually the quality of life that people want to aim for.
Yeah. Maybe I'm out there doing yard work and it hurts when I have to do it.
Right.
Functional things in the day that you're doing that are just harder or getting sicker by the minute. We're going to do a mic swap.
Mic
right quick.
switch, hey.
We'll get you a better one.
For me,
We upgrade you.
I was gonna say, for me, it's that mind-body connection. Okay, once you clear your body, you're able to clear your mind. You're able to not only think better, reason better, higher faculties work stronger. So once you connect your mind and body, you're just more productive in life, and you can see things a whole lot different.
Right.
At least for myself. Now, we know that there's, like he said, those people that take it to the extreme, but what's your goal? You know, keep your goal in focus as you go forward.
You know, I would like to give some tips for healthy eating, because it's really important that each of us just kind of fit in. They say get in where you fit in, right? Yeah, and so everything might not work for everybody, but I think we can all generally agree that we could all benefit from being more healthy. You mentioned that you're more productive. Like, they literally have studies that say that healthy people can earn up to almost 30% more wealth over their lifetime just by virtue of being generally healthier. To me, I found that pretty significant. That would even be a statistic. But so tips for healthy eating, you can base your meals on higher fiber. You know, we eat a lot of starches, but if you go for the higher fiber ones, that's going to make for a happier body.
Happier experience.
Yeah. You know, eat lots of fruits and vegetables,
Yeah.
get more proteins, you know, your omega-3s, cut down on the saturated fat and sugars. Sugar is a big deal for all of us. Let me see. Eat less salt. Be active, be more active so you can be a healthy weight, whatever that is for you. Don't get thirsty. Like, thirst can masquerade as hunger.
Right.
So much.
Right.
Like, that happens to me all the time during the day, sitting at my desk. You know, I get the need to snack sometimes, and sometimes I have to catch myself like, whoa.
I just need some water.
I just need some water. I'm thirsty. I've been sitting here dry looking at this
Right.
computer,
Yeah.
getting all sad. Like, I need to get up, walk, you know, do a few laps
Right.
and drink some water
Right.
instead of
Yeah.
just eating the chocolate that's stashed in the back of my desk.
Exactly.
You know, let's not
Is
do
that
that.
where it is?
Hey, and don't skip breakfast, which is a big thing for a lot of people. They say, oh, I don't do breakfast. You know, that's just me. I don't. Breakfast will save you from diabetes. And that is me, not as a doctor, saying that. You know, we want to put the disclaimer, all the things that we're talking about. The only one at the table who's a nutritionist is Laverne.
There you go.
So everything else that comes out of our mouths
Come on now.
is not from a nutritionist or a physician. So check with your doctor before you make these changes in your diet. But do know that everybody can benefit from being just generally healthier and improving that diet to where you're getting more, you know, fruits and vegetables, fiber.
Yeah.
And also, of course, physical activity.
Right.
You
Right,
know,
right.
Physical activity. I don't know. I remember somebody was telling me, you know, there's a plate in Colombia that is called bandeja paisa, which the
Say that
plate
again?
bandeja paisa.
Okay.
Bandeja.
It's a
paisa.
Colombian traditional plate from the mountainous part of Colombia. In the plate, it has like meats, it has beans, it has rice, it has eggs, it has everything. But it's supposed to be for breakfast, right? So somebody was telling me it has almost 4,000 calories. One plate.
One meal.
And one meal. And said, and we go.
Are you about to go work in the field after you eat
Ah,
that?
yes, that's the point.
Hey,
Oh, man,
yeah.
you're getting ahead of me.
Right.
That's right. You need those calories.
Yes, when you work in the field,
lot,
like
though.
That is a lot.
you know, like the field workers in the hills of Colombia,
Yeah.
you need those calories because you
Yeah.
burn those calories.
Yeah.
But we don't do.
Sure don't.
Yeah.
So that's a
We
big
sit at our
point.
desk,
good
right?
Physical activity.
Yeah.
Wow.
Without a doubt.
Yes.
You're
That's
right
a good point.
about that.
It's a
You're
good
right.
point.
Some of my best eating days is when I've been active.
Yeah.
Sometimes you could eat, like, if as an active person, you out there, especially athletes and things
Yeah.
like, you see them eat stuff and it's like, where does it go?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
They're
body
burning
just
it.
vaporizes
Yeah.
it because they're so, you know, they're burning so many
Right,
calories. So
right.
you're right. That's a good
good
point.
point. Yeah.
You know, when we think about the body, you mentioned being physically active, and that puts me in mind of just the wholeness of being healthy. Because our question is, like, is it possible for me to fit, you know, being healthy eating into my busy lifestyle? And I would submit that it is not only possible, it's
Right.
imperative that we do.
Without a doubt.
Yeah, because it's like this thing that we have
Yeah.
is our greatest resource. You know, the Bible says that our body is a temple. That's in 1 Corinthians. And if we are not a good steward of our number one resource,
Right.
you know, what are we trying to do out the rest of this thing called life?
Yeah, your life may stop being busy because you're in a hospital. Who knows?
Do you guys
You're talking
remember?
about somebody's life.
It can happen.
Do you
It
guys
can happen.
remember your first car? You after your first car, you had another car. I remember your first car. Probably you didn't took care of it like it was supposed to. You
Hey,
didn't do it.
right,
Well, I mean,
hey.
I said probably.
I feel
hold
attacked.
on. Yes.
Are you saying it broke down?
Most of us. My first car, it blew up. I blew
Yeah.
up the engine.
It blew
Yeah.
up.
Yes.
Wow.
Insinuate, that's
Well,
extreme.
The engine.
Yeah.
So just imagine, you have several cars. Imagine that I told you, this first car is going to be your car for the rest of your
the
life.
rest of your
you
life.
will never have another car,
Wow.
right?
Right.
So
Yeah.
with that in mind, you will take care of that car, isn't
Yeah.
it? So this is the only body that we're going to have.
Mercy.
Well said.
Mercy.
Well said.
Mercy.
It is true. Do we think about it that way?
That's the
No.
problem.
Wow. Wow.
We think about how the cupcake looks.
Wow. That's in the moment versus long term. Wow.
I like that.
Tasty and pretty. Cupcakes are tasty and pretty.
You know what else is
I've thought
tasty
about
and
that.
pretty? Saving money
Yeah.
by not going to the doctor.
That's tasty
That's
and
true.
pretty. I like the taste
It
and
is.
sound
But
of that.
long term, like you said, and I think that's the encouraging part that
Yeah.
we can take away is when we think about healthy eating. Let's not think just for the moment. Let's not think,
Right.
there's room in a healthy diet to eat things that are enjoyable, but let's think to long term. Let's think to
Right.
stewardship. We can't take more care of the environment than we do of our own bodies.
Right.
We live in this. We
Yeah.
live in the world. We take care of it. We live in this.
Yeah.
We got to take care of it.
Yeah, that sounds good. How about our loved ones too?
Hey, we got to be
Hey,
there for them,
A lot
right?
of times when we're making our food choices, it's I. If I'm not here, how does that affect you?
Wow.
Right?
Wow.
So
Yeah.
it's something to think about.
Yeah. So as we continue in this new year, let's continue with goal setting. Let's continue with healthy habits, and let's continue to encourage each other to do the best that we can. Let's
Yeah.
educate ourselves about what we need to fuel this wonderful machine.
That's right.
And let's remember that we have a higher purpose than just sitting down in the moment.
Yeah.
All right. Well, join us next week as we talk about financial habits and goals for the new year.
We'll go from difficult to wow.
Hope to see you then next time.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching our program today. What part benefited you the most? Comment below and let us know. Remember to like, subscribe, and share. If you're in the Houston area and you're looking to join the conversation in person, check us out on the web at HoustonCentralSDA.org for more information. See you next time.